Greetings, humans. It's another Thursday night in the multiverse. Mike is taking some time off because he's going back to school. He's hitting grad school hard this semester, so he'll be intermittent for the first couple months. So we're doing some guest hosts. The first guest host we're going to have is my good friend Cody of East10Outpost. Cody, how the hell are you tonight?
Man, I'm doing good. Happy Friday Eve to you.
Friday, oh yeah, Friday Eve. Yeah, I don't actually have a real job, so every day is Friday for me.
I like that. No, I count it down, buddy.
Yeah. Well, I remember those days. I actually kind of missed that actually because then it made Fridays and Saturdays more special. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it definitely does give you a little something to look forward to. That's for sure.
Definitely. So we are live right now on Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, X, and Twitch. Got 11 people in the chat so far. Anybody who else? It's Scarlett, one of our longtime favorite what people who watch favorite members of the multiverse. Scarlett, how's it going today? How are you? If you're in the chat, if you're new, let us know who you are. Tell us where you're from and like where on the planet or where in the multiverse you're watching from. So we've got my friend Cody filling in for Mike. He's got his own channel, East10Outpost. Cody, why don't you tell us a little bit about East10Outpost and East10 Productions and what it is that you do?
I'm just at East10 Outpost, just like that, everywhere pretty much on social media, or even slap a.com on the end of that. And I haven't set the website all up yet though, so but work in progress. The channel, I like to focus on really alternative and deeper history. The mainstream explanation in a lot of modern things I think is a little askew. So I like to focus on stories that are mainstream stories, or out there, are nothing too fringe or crazy or anything you can't look up yourself. And I usually put the links where I looked it up myself from, and uh, you know those types of videos and topics and esoteric type things. Those all appeal to me. So content on all sorts of things like that. And on X, I like to have a little more fun on there. It's not always just my content, so that's more of a Cody follow than an East10 follow. But yeah.
Very cool, very cool. And you can find Cody. Britton just dropped the link in the chat to his YouTube. So please like and subscribe to Cody's channel. We're going to show a little bit of a video that Cody dropped just this morning, a little bit later in the show, that's going to lead into a big reveal. So stay tuned for that. Speaking of like and subscribe, we love that on the multiverse. Like and subscribe and share if you really enjoy our show. There's different ways you can support the show that I'm not going to list off, but Brittany's going to drop them in the chat.
That stuff really helps.
It really does help, and it always makes my day. Even a like, a new subscribe. Like I'm always like, ooh, a new subscriber. You know, like that just makes me happy because it means that people want to see what it is we do. You know what I mean? Do you get that same little dopamine hit?
Oh yeah, no, it's great. My video I dropped today, like I got 2 subscribers like in a couple of minutes. I was like, oh yeah, like for me that's like, oh, it is exciting. I totally feel it.
If we keep going in 2 to 3 years, I'd like to still have that same energy. But like if you're like a guy like Jimmy Corsetti or even Wandering Wolf, it's like must be hard to keep up with, huh?
I hope you never lose it, the kind of thing. But it's inevitable at a certain point. Like everything is so go.
Mm-hmm.
You just inevitably don't have the time to sit and savor it probably the same way. I think that's probably the difference, less than like you're not caring about it, you know?
Yeah, and it's not that you don't appreciate it; you just don't get to savor it as much. I like that. That's a good way to put it.
The pace is different for sure.
Yeah, well, shoot, my pace has been crazy the last week and a half doing this show. We'll get into some of that, but I bet like we dropped an episode on Friday, an episode on Monday. We got another episode dropping on Friday. We'll show you a little bit of clips of that kind of stuff of those things. But and I did 2 shows to other people's podcasts. I've been going to.
Been busy, bud.
I know. I gotta chill out. But speaking of supporting the show, we do something called the Book of the Month, where when we have guests who are authors, we try to pick everyone and go monthly and do a Book of the Month.
Okay.
This is our Book of the Month, Astral Experiences, from our good friend Jason Quitt, who's been on the show before. Brittany, if you have the link ready, drop the link to that episode of Humans of the Multiverse. Actually, it was a live stream. He's been on 2 live streams. Yep, go ahead and drop that in there. He is. Yeah, have you met him?
I've not. No, I've gotten to talk to him online, but
okay.
I enjoy. Yeah, no, he's a good dude.
He's the goodest of dudes. I met him in person at Contact in the Desert, and
that's cool place to meet him.
Yes, for sure. He's been a regular speaker there since like 2018 or something like that.
That's awesome.
But this is his book, and it's really very interesting. It's very intimate. He goes very intimately into his stories about learning how to navigate the astral realm, which sounds a little goofy, but what he does is he basically got stricken at a young age with this. I don't know if you want to call it an affliction, but he gets stuck in sleep paralysis like for hours and hours. So instead of like being scared of it, he's taught himself to use that space to, function and exist and get work done on the astral plane. Yeah. And so there's a lot of good stuff in here. I literally just did a breathing exercise. I learned from him to balance my chi right before this show. So Brittany should be dropping the link for the Amazon link for the book in the chat. It supports him and it supports us. So it's an awesome book, and I think it's only like $16.99 or something like that on Amazon. So no, and it's look, this cover's awesome. I love this cover.
That is really good art. I'm a sucker for good covers because I like to have them displayed. They're all over there on top of my TV, but I like to have them like displayed around too. I don't just want them to be on the shelf, especially like when I know the guys. So
I have the same problem. Yeah, and there's not enough space.
Yeah, well, and now I'm finding out because I live in East Tennessee and it's so wet all the time. You live in the South, so like the edges are curling and I'm like, oh God, what do I do about this? So I think I might have to like clip them all or something since they're not being all sandwiched together like a book should be on a shelf. They're just like, out faceward. And so the corners are starting to curl. And I'm like, oh no.
You got to get them. You got to get them hard covers.
Yeah. Well, they don't like all Will's book doesn't come in a hardcover. I just got that the other day. Will Brown, Graham Langdon's book is not a hardcover. What was the other one? Scott Wolter, his book is over.
Which one? The Hooked X?
No, the Oak Island.
Okay. Yeah. I have his Hooked X book over there. But my plan is to put a shelf behind me.
Yeah.
And put everyone's books. I just need to get to IKEA and buy a shelf and then figure out how to put it together.
But it's fun to display them because so many of them, like Jason's book, have amazing art.
Yes. Yeah.
So I've got to figure out, maybe somebody will like 3D print some corners that can be used for the paperback. There's an idea, somebody out there with a 3D printer.
Maybe that exists.
If it doesn't, take my money. Let's go.
So go ahead, Brittany.
I was going to say you could also use a dehumidifier in there.
I'm actually going to run one in here just in my studio alone so it quits curling up my book corners. I'm going to have to like ghetto paper clip them. It'll be all right.
Shout out to Shaman, both Cody and I's good buddy. How's it going, Shaman? How's it? Check Shaman out on X. He's always on fun little adventures.
He finds some amazing stuff.
He does. He does. And he's got a very interesting, taking an interesting eye on geology that you're not going to get from. He just walks regular landscapes that most people don't pay a whole lot of attention to and finds very interesting things about them. It's very, very, very interesting. We also want to shout out Chris Cottrell in the chat. Says hi to Cody. There you go.
What's up, bud? Good to see you, Chris.
And also Jim Fry, always here. Really appreciate him. And I agree with Scarlett here. You do have a nice, soft voice. You should do voice acting work.
Thank you.
Yeah, I really do think so.
I've done 2 radio spots for ads in New Jersey.
Ads for what?
One was a bar, and the other was like a pizza place that hosts kids parties and stuff. It's got like themed rooms and stuff. I remember amazing. It was like 7 themed rooms. Like I had to, and it like annotates how it wants you to read the line. And I was like, oh yeah, I got to put some umph in some of them. It was.
Did you apply for that, or did like people say, hey, you've got a really good voice, you need to? How did that work? I think you told me once before.
Well, I wanted to like build a resume, so that I had like something semi-professional to be like, I've done these things if I wanted to do anything voice acting. And so I was lucky enough to know people like some producers at radio stations, someone at the company pilled.net. I've done some of their promos. I did those radio ads. So now I've got like a little bit of a professional resume. There's a LinkedIn out there somewhere.
That's hilarious. That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Scarlett says audiobooks. Yeah, you should do audiobooks.
Well, thank you.
Wanted to shout out Rubate. Love this guy in the alt history community. I must say, he's a warrior out there. He's
thank you, Ru.
Yes, thank you, Ru. Yeah, we all owe Ru a thank you. And he shares the shit out of our stuff. He is a warrior. He's out there fighting the good fight on X every day.
I have like this much time to get on X, and the amount of like sticking it directly to some of the biggest jerks in academia I see Ru doing on a regular basis never fails to impress me. I appreciate that guy can like it's so concisely and with his memes like just wreck them in really smart ways. It's clever, it's funny. I enjoy it.
It's smart, it's clever, it's funny. He's not like a dick about it. I mean, he is, but he masks it well.
He's the right kind of dick.
Totally.
I support it.
This is awesome. Habitat for Rockhounds, Mr. Jim Fry. We love him here in the multiverse. He says he's in the Michigan Upper Peninsula for an annual copper and mineral show. That's magical place. That is awesome. I wonder if Jeff up north is there too.
Oh, he's a cool dude too.
He is. Jeff up north.
I'd like to meet him sometime.
He's coming on the live stream on the 21st, and I currently do not have a co-host for that. So if you're available for that, we can talk Michigan Copper with Jeff up north. Yeah. So one of the things Cody and I bonded over when we first met was our shared love for the Y-Files, which anyone who loves Y-Files is a friend of mine. And Mike and I like to do a little bit of just a short little Y-Files rehash once a week if they come up with a new episode. So we're just going to do that really quickly. I'm just going to share their and hey, if you guys have not watched the Y-Files and you're in the chat, it's the best show on YouTube, my favorite channel on YouTube. And he's always got awesome episodes about the coolest stuff. I wanted to start with the one before the Bushegi time capsule, the Alien Alliance.
Bushegi. I'm going to say that wrong a bunch, probably.
Bushegi. I had to look it up, man. I had to look it up. But the Alien Alliance, or the Greada Treaty, this was a stripped episode, no Hecklefish, which always bums me out a little bit. I don't know how you feel about that.
Yeah, it bums me out too. I enjoy Hecklefish. I usually... I don't watch them when they air live with the kids, but we usually end up watching it, and they enjoy it and I enjoy it, and it's less of the like fun experience, I guess. I don't know.
I agree. He put out people keep asking him to get rid of Hecklefish, and he literally did what's it called? Where you vote a poll. Yeah, a poll yesterday, I think. And then the votes were like 90% keep Hecklefish. So I don't know why he keeps even listening to these people,
Hecklefish all day.
Yeah.
I want to get one of the plushies.
I do too. I do have 2 shirts. I have a Roswell like cleanup crew shirt, and I have what else do I have? I have a Cydonia National Park Face on Mars National Monument shirt.
That's cool.
Yeah. But did you watch this one, Alien Alliance Agriata Treaty, the one about all the different types of aliens that make treaties with, was it Hoover?
Yeah, I did watch it. I watch them all usually Thursday. I can usually catch them live. That's like the time of night everything's settled down. I'm like parked on the couch.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, usually I have heard at least chunks of the stories he's telling. The last one, though, I hadn't heard anything about. But the Alien Alliance with the president, there's been variations and declassified things allegedly and all sorts of stuff that have come out in snippets and things over the years. But he compiles it into a cohesive story really better than anybody out there. Anybody.
And his use of AI is getting a lot better to make that happen. At first I was like, I wasn't enjoying all the AI because it's like, but now it's like looking really good.
I've always enjoyed it. Even like his very first ones, I caught him when he was like 9 episodes deep and went back and watched each one and then was waiting, each week for them to come out. He looked so different back then, and he used to respond to everybody because he had more time to do that. Like we were saying, you lose the ability to do that. But his stuff even back then, I thought it was effective because if you were reading a storybook, there would be pictures that somebody drew, an artist animated. It's a made up picture. There's not a real picture of these things he's describing.
Right.
For visual imaginative people, heck yeah, show me that. As long as it doesn't have, like the AI hand that is like the 10 fingers. I'm here for it. And I think his new stuff, like the way it's really progressed, it's good. I love it.
It is.
I'm a sucker for it.
Me too. And I especially now because it's the technology is getting so much better. And he really strung that Alien Alliance thing, like you mentioned, all the different, parts of the story from all the different places together in a cohesive like narrative that was like the best one I've seen. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out, everyone. But the most recent one, the Boo Shaggy Time Capsule, Our True Origin. This is an Anunnaki story that I actually hadn't heard before, and I was a little blown away by
it's an everything story. Really.
Yes, it is.
Like they were taking all the good spices out of the cabinet and like, try that in the stew.
Yeah. And I wanted to really quickly because they mentioned something that I literally had never heard of before. Underneath this Romanian Sphinx is apparently this time capsule that only this one kid could open, and one genius kid could open. But there's I was looking into this earlier today. There is all kinds of like weird. This is like a paranormal hotspot. This thing.
Yeah. Well, a lot of these spots. That is interesting. That looks cool.
It is, right?
A lot of the spots that are naturally energetic nodes, there's a lot of paranormal things happening. So who knows? Maybe that is an original landmark. I think there's more sphinxes than, just the main one. I think there's another one in Egypt. Have you seen the other one in Egypt?
Yes, I have. Yeah.
And there's guides that will say that. Like that's a Egyptian semi-credible history as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, and I mean
so this could be too.
Yeah, and you could explain that by the other one's highly eroded, and the
Mhm.
other one was covered in sand, so that would explain that, right?
Well,
And
and
this
it
one's
depends on the stone composition of where in the world it is.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But I didn't know there was a sphinx in, or whatever you want to call this thing. It's an
Yeah.
interesting formation, and so you're right. That episode went like all in on everything: creationism and the Anunnaki and the past and the future and time travel and like all that stuff. So
Yeah.
uh, good
It
one,
was it
good
was
one.
a doozy, but it it was funny the following the hero's journey because it did. Um
Yes,
and
yes.
maybe there's I think a lot of times, and even in what's accepted history is his story, right?
Hmm.
And you're always going to tell the greatest version of your own story. Right?
Right.
It's
I
you're
don't
gonna
know. I do.
if you, yes, I do too. Who doesn't? Like if you're going to take the time to share your exploits or tell your story, it's going to be the greatest version of that. Grandpa's fish stories, right? So
Hmm.
I think there's something that is very natural of, even if these are elements of truth that somebody's strung together, it doesn't mean you got to throw the baby out with the bathwater and all of its junk.
Hmm.
This guy just strung this bit of history with this bit of history. I'll explain how they connect with some time travel trickery. Like it's there's some elements of stuff that could be true and some elements of stuff that could be crap, but that's what makes a good story. So
For sure, for sure. And I'm glad you mentioned the hero's journey portion of it because I'm a sucker for the hero's journey. I
oh
feel like
yeah,
I've had like three of them in my own life.
that's
And
fantastic.
at least that's how I play it out in my head, like you said.
Yes.
Um,
You're
and
damn right. Tell
and
that story, bud. Yeah.
I did
You gotta.
actually, and if you want to hear my hero's journey, you can tune into a upcoming episode of Universe
Ooh.
Unveiled on Wednesday, where they drop an interview where I overshare big time about my life story. So if you want to hear more about me and learn about me, you can check that out.
That'll be cool to check out. No, no such thing as oversharing. that
Well, I
that's
think they
funny
wanted to
though.
talk about ancient history and space and shit like that I like to talk about, but I just went ham on my story because I got
That's how I felt when I came on your show.
yes, yeah, yes. Speaking of which, Cody did an episode of Humans of the Multiverse that dropped a few months ago. If Brittany, you could find that and drop it in the chat, that would be great. Speaking of like journeys, we got to talk to a really interesting guy, Mike and Brittany and I, a few weeks ago, maybe about 4 weeks ago. Mr. Michael Donnellan, he presented he found evidence that fits Plato's narrative of Atlantis in Cadiz, Spain. Okay.
Wow.
And he has a documentary series coming out about it, and they have lots more work to do, but they played the like a compilation, like maybe an hour and 20-minute compilation of some of the series together at the Cosmic Summit. You were not
Yeah.
allowed to record anything. It was like super, like they was on lockdown, and it was very like controversial. Like all the geologists that were there were like, I don't buy this. I need more evidence. And then there was other people that were like super excited. I really loved the documentary. The videography was fantastic. The narration was great. They told a really good human story in it, and Michael Donnellan's a fascinating guy. So Cody and everyone else, I'm going to play you guys a trailer for that interview that's dropping tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern on YouTube, Spotify, and Rumble. I highly recommend this one. This guy is a captivating guy who's worn many hats in his life, and he has a way of like speaking with passion that I promise will draw you in. And let me find that.
I
This
see
is
you out there, Rue, by the way.
good old Rue.
Yeah.
And so
That's
this is a trailer of our interview with Michael Donnellan, star of Atlantica.
That's cool.
the word Atlantis to somebody and they think you're nuts.
Mm.
So I tend to use another term, which is a little bit more palatable, which is an ancient Atlantic culture.
Mhm.
And that is definitely what we're finding here. Ode to Mikey. He used to call me Mikey. These simple thoughts, combined with our collective knowledge, will show the way to the golden age that was Atlantis. You have proof of hominids, humans, living in this area 200,000 years ago.
Right.
We have proof of the whole proof of coming out of Africa. That whole scenario has been dispelled. And I remember training legs with him. And that was always the most difficult thing, because training legs is like, oh my God. And I remember something he always said to me. He said, you wanna master training legs? He said, make training legs your favorite thing to do. I want to put out a big thank you and a big admiration to these incredible people that make this whole magic of cinema come together. This was the one camera that made me realize that I had at my disposal the quality that I needed to get things done on my own without anybody's permission. We're in the golden age of documentaries. I watch documentaries on cooking, on food, on travel, on archaeology, on Mars,
astronomy,
astronomy, aliens, whatever.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful.
Yeah, and this guy is like the true definition of a Renaissance man, Cody. He has 2 black belts in martial arts. He almost became like an MMA fighter, but was an artist, and he got an offer at, I forget what, some major animation studio, and ended up working in Hollywood on some of the biggest films in Hollywood. And he'll mention a handful of them on the show, doing digital animation as a digital animation supervisor.
That's incredible.
It is. And then he also, as a young man, went to college studying in Greece or something, studying Crete and Minoan civilizations as an archaeologist. So then after all that, Disney, he literally worked for Disney. He went back to, combined his archaeology with his filmmaking prowess, and started chasing Atlantis. And I think he's onto something, man.
That's amazing.
Yeah, he definitely found something
for him.
Yeah.
There's not many true Renaissance men like that anymore. So good for him for getting out there. And if people think it's wacky, like he said in the thing, screw him. He's actually out there doing it,
Exactly.
I respect that. That's cool.
Me too. And his so I don't know when the series actually comes out. There's 3 episodes. They're just not out in the US yet. We'll keep you guys posted on that.
They keep us waiting.
Now let me ask you, Cody. Because we're moving on to the next thing, okay? Because that episode dropped on Friday, but we dropped another one on Monday. So I have a question.
Okay.
Do you believe in Bigfoot?
Gun to my head?
Yes.
No.
Okay. All right. What about the Bigfoot is an interdimensional time traveler scenario?
So okay, I'm gonna concede. That's why I said, like, gun to my head, one word answer, no. If you asked me to try and rationalize Bigfoot, I first of all, I think it could be something related to the elongated skull people, because that's always reported, that they're like red in color. And they've got the big elongated, like, look at the depiction of a Bigfoot, and its skull would probably look a lot like these people, honestly. So my mind says, like, what if the elongated skull people are like descendants of the Anunnaki, the Nephilim, the giants, whatever you want to consider them. And at a certain point, after being hunted out, like they were in North America, according to the Indians, not my telling of versions of stories. Like, that's their mythos. All of them are indigenous cultures say that pretty much. It's staggering how many. I wrote an article about it in Pharaohs. It's a lot. It's a staggering amount of indigenous tribes that have stories of hunting out these giants. So if they hid and became super inbred, maybe that's the Bigfoots that we see now. The other thing I would say is the interdimensional. Like, I because there are cryptids I believe in that, gun to head, I would say, like, yeah, they're probably real. And I think they're interdimensional in nature. I think a lot of phenomena is probably interdimensional in nature.
I agree. I think a decent portion of the UFO UAP phenomenon is interdimensional in nature. I just had to I was like cracking up to myself about Jim Fry. He says, imagine this was your dad and this was the bedtime story he read to you from Michael Donnellan. Just cracked me up. Brittany, how would you feel about that? Bedtime stories from Michael Donnellan.
I mean, he's got a good voice for that.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, so the reason I even asked you that question is because we talked to a dude named Trey Hudson. And look, I'm not a big like cryptid guy. Okay. I'm really not. I'm not into ghosts.
I love ghosts.
Yeah. See, a lot of people do. I'm not mad at anyone who is, right? But I will talk to people who like credible sounding people with strong backgrounds in like empirical science or empirical investigation, who like to get down with cryptids and ghosts and all that kind of stuff. And we got the chance to talk to Mr. Trey Hudson. Brittany, if you could find, I don't know if you got the link, but if you could find it and drop it in the chat. We talked to him on Monday, and it was really fascinating interview, Cody. The dude is like, has a background in military counterintelligence and investigation and that kind of thing. And he runs this operation of paranormal investigation, like with military precision. He brings on like former police and firefighters and military and EMS people.
That's cool.
Thing. Yeah. And he found this place that they call, get this, the Skinwalker Ranch of the South.
Oh.
And supposedly this place is a secret. He's keeping it a secret because he doesn't want it to get. Yes, he doesn't want it to get tainted. He doesn't want a bunch of YouTubers running there and screwing everything up and messing around with the energy. Yeah, exactly. And so he joined us and told us all about that. He has a book called The Meadow Project and a documentary coming out soon called The Meadow Project. And I'm going to show a quick short from that episode. So let's check that out quickly. I think I am anyway. Yeah, I am. And let's check it out.
And so eventually, I couldn't get anybody to go with me. Nobody wanted to go out in the woods and be cold and stuff. So, some of the members of the original Oxford Paranormal Society weren't interested in that because it wasn't a house or a factory or something. It was actually, outside, and you'd have to, lug your own gear and all of that. And so I reached out to a friend of mine who was the well-known Sasquatch researcher, cryptid researcher, Bob Grumpy Wilson, who was on the TV show Bigfoot is Real. And he agreed to go out to this area of the Haunted Road with myself and one of his research partners. And so that's kind of, that was kind of the nucleus of ASOG right there. And, when we started encountering the extreme high strangeness in about 2017, I think it was July of 2016, we realized that the traditional ghost hunting and cryptid hunting protocols just were not sufficient enough, because this stuff was really, really strange. And quite frankly, it can be quite dangerous. We just had a really ugly event happen just last Saturday, with another team and another investigation. So That's kind of how ASOG was built. Is a group of individuals from backgrounds like emergency medicine, military, fire services, law enforcement. People that are used to crazy situations, following orders, staying on protocol, and completing the mission.
So I took this guy Cody to be like a serious person, right?
Yeah.
A credible person. Does he not, at least in the short, seem to be like because in the words
He
of
comes off very credible.
yes, in the words of the famous MMA fighter Nate Diaz, sometimes these Bigfoot hunters seem like a bunch of dorks playing touch butt in the woods, right?
Yeah. Well, and that's, I don't even discount that a lot of times they really think they're onto something. Like, I don't think the Bigfoot hunting is a scam by and large. And of course, there's people who are doing it out there for views or for people's money to go on, guided Bigfoot tours. But I think a lot of the people that are passionate about it treat it legitimately and with respect and give it its due diligence. And this guy has all the credentials to do it. Can approach it with a high degree of seriousness. And, whether or not it's Bigfoot that he's on to, I think it's silly for me to cherry pick some cryptids and not others. Why not? There's a lot of interdimensional things I think at play, and whatever title it's given, he could very well be picking up on it, and I think that's cool. That kind of research needs to happen.
I agree. I totally agree. Brittany, did you find him like a serious, credible person when we talked to him?
Yeah, he seemed like really knowledgeable, and I mean, he was able to explain everything really well. So
yeah, it wasn't like he was
Seemed very-
playing around.
yeah, it was good.
Well, I like that he mentioned that it's dangerous to play around with it, because I don't think a lot of the paranormal people treat it with the degree of seriousness that
Yes.
you really should be, if indeed it is paranormal activity that is being encountered. That's nothing to mess with in my book. Or you do it the right way, like any dangerous job, right? And he seems to be approaching it that way, and I think that's cool. I respect that.
Me too. Scarlett says she's guessing it's at or near a ranch in the Blue Ridge Mountains. So I tried to sneak it out of
West
him.
Virginia.
I was like, yeah, West Virginia is a good candidate, but I was like, yeah. So since it's close to me, because I live near Atlanta, I was hoping that he'd be like, yeah, but he was like, right away, he was like, well, how do you know it's close to you? He's like, you don't know it's close to you. The South is a very big place, and that's
This
why
interview's done.
yeah. He's like, I keep it in the South for a reason, because I don't want yahoos from their YouTube channels running over to my thing. And I was like, okay, all right. He wasn't a dick about it, but he was like very clear that I had no idea where it was.
He let you know.
Yeah. Jokey's always in here with jokes, but if we can have human ghosts, ever thought of alien ghosts? The realm of quantum gets weird. Yeah, for real.
Yeah. I've actually never thought about that, but yeah.
No, me neither. He's always saying stuff like that gets me thinking. Yeah.
I'm going to ponder that shit all night now. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks, Jokey. We're gonna lose some sleep over that one. Habitat for Rockhound said, and this goes along with what you said about taking this stuff seriously. He said, as a child, I had nightly episodes of sleep paralysis and demon visitations. Glad to have survived and having my 64th birthday this week. Happy birthday,
Happy
Jim.
birthday.
And yeah, to people, I've never seen a ghost, a demon. I've had sleep paralysis twice, but I kind of figured out what was going on because I was an adult and it didn't last that long. I've never experienced anything paranormal ever. So the thing is to the people who do or have, and it's been terrifying or disrupting to their life, it's not funny, right?
No. I've experienced small degrees of paranormal activity, and I've never seen anything. I've never had sleep paralysis, at least that I can recall. But my aunt had a haunted house, and
Oh no.
I would house sit her house, and it was hella haunted, and her dog knew it was hella haunted and did not like it. Like it was very tough for a second, and then was not tough, and I didn't like that because it was a boxer, like it was a big meaty stout boxer, and it, like when it would come darting down them stairs with its little nub tail tucked, I was like, ah.
Did she pay you at least?
Yes, and I like during the day it was never weird, but at night, like you would hear steps, and they had different things happen to them over the years. But yeah, no, I could see where if you had like really malevolent activity, that could drive you legitimately insane.
Yeah, exactly. For me, like mostly just some certain movies. When I had a wild imagination when I was a kid, so certain movies would like scare the shit out of me. But that was all me scaring the shit out of myself. Like
Right.
I didn't actually see anything. And people like who experiencers get mad at me, like when we're talking about UFO, UAP abduction, or seeing ghosts or whatever. When I say I want to, I want to experience these things because they're like, you don't want to experience it. It's scary.
Don't
but
ask for it.
I think I do though. Like, yeah, like I honestly, because I want to know, I have so many questions. Like I believe most of this stuff is real and I just want to see.
Wait, but don't you remember in Indiana Jones? She's like, I just want to know. And it just.
Yes, correct. Yes. And so that's like, that's one of those things, right? Like you don't want to know, like as Jim described, like I don't want to have Jim's experience. You know what I mean?
That's terrifying.
But I did want to say, Jim, if you missed the beginning, check out Jason Quitt's book, Astral Experiences. Brittany put the link in the chat. He had a very similar childhood to yours, and I think that you would really enjoy his book, and maybe even like enjoy talking to him. Possibly, I could put you guys in touch. He's a really nice guy.
Really nice guy.
Yeah. And so, yeah, that's what we got. That's what came out on Monday. We got Michael Donnellan coming out on Friday. I feel like it's an embarrassment of riches here in the multiverse right now.
Jeez, I know you're swimming in it, bud. That's good stuff.
It does make me happy. And I came up with this stupid idea like 2 hours ago. So I'm just going to go ahead and do it, but I'm going to make an announcement. Okay. You ready?
I like it.
All right. All right. All right. Hear ye, good folk of the realm. On this 7th day of August, in the year of our Lord, 2025, tidings of great import come forth. Verily, we have uncovered further proof of a dire calamity that didst rend asunder a once mighty civilization, now lost to the mists of time in the days of the younger Dryas. Though many learned scribes and scholars turn their nose from the growing heap of evidence, they can no longer proclaim it false. There dwelt an ancient people, skilled in the arts of fine machining, cunning mathematics, and sacred geometry, masters of stonecraft, stargazing, engineering, and the ordering of their society and world. I proclaim this riddle long veiled, now resolved. Let all who hear know this truth. And I did this because we've got 2 new articles that have come out that are now supporting the Younger Dryas and the Younger Dryas calamity or Younger Dryas disaster hypothesis, impact, solar outburst, whatever you want to call it.
That's cool.
And we're going to go ahead and take a look at a couple of those right now. And that was kind of fun. I should do some more.
That is cool. I liked that.
I'm glad. I don't know if did you guys like that? Do you guys want in the chat? Do you guys want to hear more Dave the Town Crier? I'll even get a bell. Dink,
That's
dink,
a great name.
Yes, Dave the Town Crier. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, there could be some killer art with that. I'm an old school junkie. That's an underappreciated, lost job. Dang.
Yeah, I know. I feel like we need one.
Man, you just really sold me on it. That was good.
You're welcome. I'm gonna keep doing that. Well, we'll see what the chat says. So this is from Yahoo. So take that for a grain of salt. But evidence of world-changing comet explosion 12,800 years ago found in the ocean. Microscopic grains of alien dust buried in the sediment at the bottom of the ocean could be evidence of a comet that exploded in Earth's atmosphere 12,800 years ago. This hypothetical event, known as the Younger Dryas impact, was invoked to explain sudden 1,200-year period of rapid cooling to near glacial conditions during the time. So most of us know about the Younger Dryas, but this is just a new study that's come out that may help prove some of that. They chose to analyze marine cores from Baffin Bay, which I think is near Newfoundland, to determine if Younger Dryas impact proxies reported from dozens of terrestrial sites globally were present in the ocean cores, and it looks like they found it. So I don't know. Had you heard about this, Cody?
No, I haven't.
Yeah.
So that was actually a great news update.
Yes, exactly. And there's more. Because hot off the press from another friend of our show, and Facebook keeps doing that to me. So one second. Another friend of our show, Mr. Mark Young of the Comet Research Group, made an announcement today. Very cool guy. Made an announcement today that he got some research published. I'm going to share his
great work on that front.
He does. You know what's cool about Mark is he saw Randall Carlson on on Joe Rogan and was like, "Hey, I'm going to study that." And then he went and got some schooling in geology and whatnot. And then
That's badass.
It is, because what's even more badass is the school he was going to wouldn't let him do his PhD thesis on Younger Dryas impact hypothesis. So
he's scientific of them.
Yeah, and so he's like, "Screw you guys, I'm out of here," and he left. And then he hooked up with George Howard and the Comet Research Group, and now he's working, living the dream without that PhD. And I just think that's totally badass.
He is. Yeah, I've seen his interactions with people. I've gotten to interact with him as well and talk to him about some things. And he's a fireball. I love it.
Yeah, me too. And I mean, he just doesn't he doesn't take any shit.
Zero.
No,
he gives the shit. Like, yeah. I love it.
So his post here says, "I'm pleased to announce that after about 18 months, our latest paper has been accepted in PLOS. One, we analyzed ocean cores and found abundant microspherules and cometary dust particles at the Younger Dryas boundary." I just saw this today, so I did not have a chance to read the articles, but if Brittany has them ready, she's going to drop them in the chat. But that's the kind of thing that we need. And
yep.
So some of the evidence for this stuff is like scientific. Like, it's not just like ancient stories, which there's hundreds, if not 1,000 ancient stories of global catastrophes and floods from all across the world. There's now hard science using iridium enrichment, nanodiamonds, magnetic spherules, platinum anomalies, charcoal and soot, impact proxies and ice cores, geological markers. And now this stuff that I just shared that are, giving evidence to what was once laughed at by, academics and geologists who they live by there's a word for it. I can't remember off the top of my head. If the chat knows, but it's like how geology only goes slow. It's only a slow
certain
thing.
Paradigm they have.
Yeah.
It's they're very cultish about the preservation of their knowledge. Right.
Yes.
Because they don't want to be irrelevant. They don't want to become themselves antiquated and their information stale and old and not be needed. And people turn to, Jimmy Corsetti's and the Wills and the Michaels of the world. So it's they don't want to lose that. So they do try and keep the paradigm that they know and were taught alive and well, at least for the duration that they're here and playing the game. And it's self-preservation. I get it to some degree. I can only fault them so much, right? Anybody would try and keep their job.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out to my mom in
Yeah.
Arnprior, Ontario. Everyone say hi to my mom, please.
Hi, Dave's mom.
Yep, she's Debbie. She's the best mom in the world.
Aw,
I figured
Debbie.
out the word that I couldn't remember. So it's uniformitarianism. Okay?
Oh,
So there's
I like that.
uniformitarianism and then there's catastrophism. Okay. And there's people out there that think that you have to be one or the other, right? It's like you're either a uniformitarianism and everything moves slowly, the planet only changes slowly, or catastrophism and but you believe in major catastrophes happening all the time, yada yada yada. And it's like, how about both, Cody? What about both? You know?
Well, yeah, and I don't think you have to necessarily marry yourself to something that's so
Right.
unprovable right
Right.
now that you're gonna sit and argue about it or take hard stances, because some things are just too far out there. But these things that are being verified by science and by ancient stories, I think about it like this: at what point in a court of law, right, would we accept witness testimony and physical evidence, right? Like, how much would it take
Right,
if we were
exactly.
making a conviction? And why aren't we operating science to that level, or vice versa? Which the standard should be high, right? If you've got testimony of ancient stories all saying the same thing, and you want to say they weren't communicating, they weren't related, that's the narrative, that people were all isolated until a certain point. All right, well, then clearly their accounts have to be considered independent, valid witness testimony. And of
Yes.
course, they're going to put their own flair and flavor on it because you always tell your best story. So
Right,
it's
exactly.
I now that we live in a time where we can verify this modern evidence or these ancient stories with modern evidence,
Mm-hmm.
I'm all for it. I think because I have typical Christian beliefs and faiths, I think, at the end of the day, if you wanted to summarize it, but with a much wider view. The Templars appeal to me a lot for that reason, the Rosicrucians. So when you look at the ability to prove things with science, like a lot of those do try and do, I think that it's really cool to see that happening. I'm for it.
I'm for it too, and I'm always thinking about the past and the future and the environment we're living in and what could possibly happen. And I think about like I'm not saying like just thinking about catastrophes all day, but like I just like to
I get it.
understand the environment that we live in on planet Earth, and that it's not a static place to be, right?
No.
And
Far from.
right, and I did a full presentation on Brittany, if you could get it, load up the on Occult Rejects podcast on Friday. I had a 40. Rubate was there. I had the Rubate's always there. Rubate's my boy.
Rubate's man.
I had him. I did a 43 slide presentation to like several thousand people on their platform.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was cool. About a new interstellar object called 3I Atlas. Have you heard anything about this, Cody?
Only a little bit. So I'm curious to hear more.
Yeah, I'm not going to do 43 slides on this bad boy, and I talked about it a little bit last week as well. But I just wanted to give like a little bit of an update on this thing. And I want to start by saying that there's all the headlines are saying alien catastrophe, it's alien mothership, right? It's intelligent life, yeah. Right? All that stuff, right? And they're saying these behaviors that it has are super rare, so that must mean it's alien. Disclaimer, there's literally only like one dude and a couple of his students who are saying this. The vast majority of astronomers and astrophysicists think it's BS. And then I want to double disclaimer that by saying that in the ancient history world, we see that a lot, right? Like Robert Schoch steps out on a limb and says, you know, this fucking Sphinx is older than I thought, right? And then all the archaeologists and Egyptologists, they go, bullshit, right? We already know the story, right? So yes, so it is the renegades that often push the boundaries of our understanding, okay? But as of right now, I want to dispel like a few myths that are out there about this thing. One of them is that the object does not display a coma or a tail, therefore it must not be a comet. That's actually not true. The Rubin Observatory, which has like 1.2 gajillion megapixel camera, has actually detected a coma and a tail that's actually getting bigger. Okay, so it is behaving like a comet. Yes, and it is picking up speed. Yes, if they pick up speed as they approach the sun and reach what's called their perihelion. And sorry, Rubate, if you're hearing this all for the second time. I'm just going to show a few of my slides. The perihelion, which is its closest point to the sun, is on October 29th, 2025. And this is the weirdest thing, Cody, about this thing, okay? Everything else that they're saying is weird about this is really just, they're saying, oh, that's super rare, that's super rare, that's super... Cody, the universe is almost infinite. So nothing is super rare. You know what I'm saying?
Mathematically, it's going to repeat, like how you can find your birthday in pi.
Right, exactly. You're gonna find the way this comet is behaving in the size of our universe is probably extremely common and not super rare.
It's rare to us now.
Exactly, because we've only found 3 of such objects. The first one in 2017, and called a Muamua. The second one, Borisov, in 2019, and now this one. So we've been only observing.
That seems like
these
it's
things.
Not that rare.
It's right, exactly. Thank you. So
that's actually pretty frequent as far as time goes.
I would think so. And then there's another thing that I'm going to get into in a second that would sheds light on how frequent this could possibly be. But as you can see in the middle there, October 29th, it'll be at its perihelion, which is when it's closest to the sun. Now, when this object is at its closest to the sun, we'll actually be on the exact opposite orbital plane, okay? So
what's that mean?
It means that the sun will eclipse this object and we will not be able to see it on the other side of the sun at all.
Uh-oh.
So that is a very strange coincidence, I must say. Right?
It's
like
disappearing behind there for a little bit.
Yes. So everyone's saying that if it wants to pull a Starship Enterprise or a Superman, because both Superman and the Starship Enterprise have done this, but it's called what's a reverse Oberth maneuver. It uses the sun's gravity to slingshot around and change trajectories. So
they did it in Star Wars too.
Yes, exactly. It's almost a science fiction trope at this point.
Right.
Yeah. So if that's what Avi Loeb, the astrophysicist or astronomer who's claiming that this thing might be an alien, is saying. Is that it may do that, and also the fact that we won't be able to see it behind the sun. It might pull some trickery, right? Well, it's back there. So that's really the only weird thing about this thing, in my opinion. I'm gonna flip forward a little bit.
Try and steal our sun. Take back to their galaxy.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, who knows, right? Like maybe they're just like if it is interstellar, if it is alien interstellar thing, like they might be just coming in to take a quick peek, little survey, right? But then they're breaking the Star Trek Prime Directive because we're gonna notice them, right?
We'd be the galaxy you lock your spaceship car doors on.
Yes, exactly.
Like when you're traveling through. No, kids, don't look at them. Don't look at them.
Exactly.
They could try and steal our car.
Well, that's the whole dark forest theory about the universe and why we haven't seen anybody, right? Like
freaks me out.
Yeah, it's because you don't want to meet somebody you don't know anything about, right? Like so that's why that's the whole idea of why they hide from us, you know,
the fear of the unknown. It's human nature.
The fear of the unknown. Think about yourself next to a campfire at a hunter-gatherer tribe, and then all of a sudden it's dark as fuck, except for around the campfire, and then all of a sudden you hear, stuff in the woods that sounds like humans, right? And so that's the whole dark forest theory, and that's what some people say might be happening here, is that they're just coming in for a peek and then taking off, and they don't want to. It's like a survey, right? It's like we do this here on this planet right now, right?
We use nukes. We're the worst.
Yeah, we do.
Like,
we do. Yeah, we do.
The
Yes.
worst.
Yeah,
There's no way they want to stop and hang out.
They just want to take a peek and see, are they going to nuke anybody yet? Right?
Are they still alive down there? Taking
yeah.
pictures of us like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they've made it this long.
Exactly. And so we do, but on Earth right now, we have hunter-gatherer tribes that we try not to contaminate too much, like the North Sentinelese.
I think it's incredible.
And stuff like that. It is incredible. But that's how cargo cults are formed, right? So right now there's probably quote unquote cargo cults being formed about this 3-eye atlas, the way they're talking about it in the news, like it's an alien mothership or something, right?
Yeah.
But
Science
if you see
treats stuff that way.
If you see on the right side of this slide, it says most scientists reject artificial origin claims due to absence of conclusive evidence. And I did read Avi Loeb's paper about this. He busted out a paper about it like quick, fast. And it basically describes itself as a thought experiment. So as a thought experiment, of like, okay, what this could be and why we should be interested in stuff like this.
Right.
The problem is the media and Avi himself, when he says could be, the word could, doing a lot of heavy lifting, alien technology, it spreads like wildfire. It's literally everywhere, right?
Right.
And so anyway, I just wanted to give a little update on that. This here is just the two other interstellar objects.
It is interesting nonetheless, whether it's of rock or well, I mean, I guess it's ice, right? Is that usually what they are? Big chunks of ice and rock?
Yep, ice and rock. That's exactly what they are. Yep. And that's Oumuamua and Borisov coming in hot. The other weird thing about this compared to the other two is the sample size. Okay, we only have a sample size of 3, but this one in particular, and I'm going to stop sharing this stuff here. This one in particular is coming in really fast and really straight. Those other two had a nice eccentric orbit, but they had just enough energy to escape the sun's gravity.
Right.
But this one is like beeline and straight for the sun, and it's
Well, and
going
what are the
very
chances
straight.
that they all are able to hit that trajectory and none of them were off? You know, I think that's interesting.
It is interesting, right? Like it's like I think they gave it like a 0.00002 chance of like happening.
Yeah, really threading the needle.
Yeah. But if you look at, and I'm going to show something that I just think is totally badass, and I used to show this all the time on the show. This is what our solar system looks like. When you, like, this is what we're tracking currently. Boom. That's a lot of stuff. Okay. So all these things are of different shapes, different sizes, different trajectories, different masses, different everything, right?
Yikes.
So, and we've got the asteroid belt, the Kuiper belt, the Oort cloud. We're talking about hundreds of millions of known objects in the solar system. So and then we only have a sample size of 3 interstellar objects. So I just want to put that out there. And I'm going to show you something else that might scare people, but that's not my intention. It's our boy Randall Carlson. Okay. Who doesn't love Randall? There's actually a lot of people who don't love Randall.
2019.
1 second.
Astronomers missed.
Right.
So on July 25th, 2019, astronomers missed the asteroid until it was nearly on top of them. But the space rock has already passed harmlessly by. A large asteroid just zipped between Earth and the moon. Now, this one is pretty significant. 2019 OK is a near-Earth asteroid noted for its sudden surprise discovery on the day before its close flyby, June 29th. So you can do the calculations, and you'll see that it's 10 to 11 times larger than the Tunguska cosmic object. Now let's assume that it's 10 times more energetic upon impact. And again, this is going to be conservative, right? If we go 10 times and it's 15 megatons, then obviously we're at 150 megatons. Given that typical large nuclear weapons, hydrogen bombs, that were deployed during the peak of the Cold War were about a megaton, you can see that this would be equivalent to about 150 hydrogen bombs, if each bomb was 1 megaton each. So on July 25th, 2019, astronomers...
What does that make you? How does that make you feel, Cody?
Extinction level.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is wild to think about. I try not to ponder it too much. That lands in the category of things that I cannot control, you know. But I do consider how really the odds are not in our favor. More than they are in our favor. And, you know, so just appreciate each day because they could totally just, miss seeing an asteroid that is bigger than the Tuskegee one and just takes us out, you know? Yes.
And that's exactly why I showed that clip, because here's the thing. We likely just miss nearby Earth asteroids like that all the time.
Probably, yeah. They just don't tell us.
Well, they might not even know. They might never know. That's one we accidentally noticed by accident, right? And did you see all the shit that I just showed you?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff flying around.
There's a lot of shit. Yeah,
it's crowded.
Exactly. It's crowded, yes. So that's why, and I promise I have a point. That's why people like Mark Young in the Comet Research Group have such an important job. Then they're very underfunded, and they're just a conglomerate of researchers, you know, with no funding from around the world, trying to, you know, it's not about scaring the shit out of everyone. It's about like being aware of like what the hell this is that we're living in, and we're in a cosmic shooting gallery.
Literally.
We get hit all the time on a geographical on a geographical on a geological time scale. We get hit all the time. We're pockmarked. The moon is pockmarked, right? And so I think that what the Comet Research Group is doing, as well as what astronomers are doing with these amazing telescopes that we have nowadays around the world, is like very, very important. So it's just, this is just me on a soapbox, but if we could stop wasting money on like wars and stuff, come from a combat veteran, start spending money on stuff like this, I think it would be a lot more worthwhile of our time, right?
Amen.
And we have amazing, Cody, we have amazing technology, like I mentioned that giant gigabyte telescope. Also, this is a James Webb Space Telescope view of Saturn. I mean, it's incredible what we can do.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, and this is the last little bit I'm going to do about this, is Mr. Jeremy Corbell.
Oh, Jeremy.
About 6 months ago, and I firmly believe he's part of the UFO UAP psyop that we're currently experiencing. Yep. But this is what he had to say 6 months ago, and now we're coming up on that time that he's speaking about now. Okay. And remember, 3I Atlas is approaching in October, and then flying by Earth in December. Okay. And listen to Jeremy Corbell.
But the lie is coming. All indications, like all of them, is that lie is going to be that there is a craft slowly making its way to us here on Earth. And that is the lie they're going to want you.
So
The
dramatic.
lie is
We're
coming.
being psyoped about a psyop.
Exactly.
He was priming us.
Yeah, psyoped about a psyop. That's a concept I've been thinking about a lot lately, Cody. I think most things are psyops about psyops.
Yeah. The like an onion, right? Like it's layered. I think that too all the time. I trust nothing. I live in the middle of freaking nowhere because I trust nothing. Like legitimately, that's why I packed up my family and we moved out to the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, I hear you. I feel generally safe in Georgia for a bunch of different reasons, but yeah, Jim, we will feed you when you're 64. Don't worry.
Hell
I got your back. Come to Georgia in the end of the world, and I'll take care of you. I got your back. And Scarlett says she feels intimidated just by a photo of space, that insignificant feeling. I hear that a lot, Scarlett, and for some reason it does the opposite to me. I don't know. How do you feel about that, Cody? Like when people say like, when I see like the universe, it makes me feel super special. Like I'm like, whoa, look at this crazy fucking thing I live in. Now I can't believe I get to be here.
Yeah, there are a lot of nights when it's clear out here because there's not a lot of light pollution. Something I absolutely adore about where I live. I can
Yeah.
see some nights it's so clear you can even see the Milky Way cloud out here, which I've only ever gotten to see down in Mexico. It's clear enough in some spots, but it's so mathematically impossible that we're right here right now that it like you, it makes me feel very special to get to have that moment and to be in awe and reverence of such an incredible canvas.
Yeah.
I do. Yeah, no, I appreciate it big time getting to just marvel at it when it looks so amazing.
So I would say to Scarlett, does that help you? Like when you feel insignificant about the size of space in the universe, does thinking about it that way, like maybe change things for you a little bit?
You're a mathematical miracle.
Yes, you are. And it's like, we're like, so I forget where I heard this, but somebody said something along the lines of where the universe experiences itself. So we're literally like, that's true in both a scientific and a philosophical sense. What are you pointing at there?
It's the laws of Hermeticism, the Hermetic principles.
Yeah, and so dig into that explain that to us a little bit.
Well, I mean that's essentially the as above, so below concept. You've got the universe is always going to mirror itself from the grandest to the most tiny, minuscule. You're going to see those echoes and those reflections. Our body, our fingerprints, everything mirror nature in such curious and amazing ways. We really are the universe experiencing itself,
which is crazy, right?
yeah, it's incredible.
Dabbler's Den there. Chris Cottrell says Georgia boys will survive. So will Tennessee boys. Tammy, you're up there in New York. You need to head for the hills, I think. Bring Brittany with you. Go grab Brittany and take her with you. Jim Fry says, I've been to this place 3 times. White Oak Pastures in Georgia has the best grass-fed regenerative agriculture beef in the U.S. Yeah, they're a regenerative farm, and it's really fun to visit there. They give you a tour, show you how they do the whole thing. And then the only ones like grow food and there's literally no, it regenerates itself. There's no like modern agriculture. It's pretty amazing. My wife's cousin took us there. She's the vet tech for the farm. Yeah, see, Chris has been there as well. So yeah,
we've got a lot of cattle farms right around me. That's like what surrounds my land is just cattle ranch, and the stuff that my neighbors know how to do is incredible, and we're getting to learn. Me and my kids are getting to learn. Those are great skills to have, Chris. That's cool. She does that.
Well, yeah. I mean, those are the people who are going to be super valuable if the grid goes down, right? As the people who know how
Keeping our
to.
food alive and safe and bacteria free and chugging along.
Exactly. Like I was a medic in the army, so I have like a background in emergency medicine. I think that would make me super valuable to a warlord. So I think
You're welcome in
I'll
East
be okay.
Tennessee, bud.
Yeah, exactly. I think I'll be okay. But if you don't have a skill that's like useful, like having like the most useful one, having babies, or like I don't know. But anyway, I don't want to get too catastrophic. I don't think the world's going to end. We're not going to get hit by an asteroid today or tomorrow or by that 3i Atlas. But it's important that we pay attention. We look at this shit, right? I think most of you would agree.
Our ancestors did.
Yes, exactly.
It's responsible of us to do it as well, I feel like.
I 100% agree. Part of the reason why we don't is we've destroyed the night sky with light pollution.
Right.
There are people who have lived their whole lives and never seen actual like stars, like what the stars are supposed to look like, what they look like in a random road in New Mexico or something, right?
When I lived in Sacramento, there were very few constellations you could make out on a clear night. And then, it was just, you couldn't see anything in between. Like you could see the Big Dipper usually. You could always, usually find the North Star, but you couldn't make out some of the more subtle ones.
Yeah.
It wasn't until I went to Mexico for the first time that I really got to see that. Like, I was like, wow, there's a lot of stuff out here.
Right.
I didn't expect that.
Yeah, it happened to me in the deserts of California. That's what made me buy my telescope. And the first time I saw it was in a place called Culp Valley in Anza Borrego State Desert.
Okay.
And at the time, my buddy and I, we just were trying to find a place to go camping that was free. And so in this place, you can literally just walk out into the desert and go camping. So we picked this place, Culp Valley, for no reason, other reason besides it was free. And it's in this valley. So we're sitting in this valley and the moon is out. So you can't really see any stars. But then all of a sudden, the moon sets over the valley. And it's like maybe midnight or something. And the stars started popping out like popcorn as this is happening. And it just kept coming and coming and coming. I'm going, what the fuck? And maybe we were a little chemically enhanced at the time, but still, the majesty of what I saw that night changed my life forever.
Yeah.
Literally forever. I've been interested in space since I was a kid, but like that moment, gives me goosebumps just thinking about it, because it was like, what the fuck? Like, because it doesn't even look like what you see on the fake NASA pictures or anything like that. It's like, and this is what our ancestors saw all the time.
One, even more.
Yeah.
I'm like you. When the first time I saw a shooting star, I wasn't a little kid. Like I was a teenager. I think I was probably 13, 14. And I was like in awe of what I was seeing. I couldn't believe it. Like I said to my dad, it was the first time I had gone down to Mexico with him. And I was like, I think I just saw a shooting star. And he's like, well, yeah, if you just like look at one spot for a minute, you'll probably see like 10 of them. And he was like so nothing burger about it. And I was like fucking just blown away. It was the most whimsical thing I had ever seen. I was like, oh my God, a real shooting star. I thought that was just like fake story time shit. Like, yeah, it's incredible to see. And it's incredible to think about.
And speaking of Mexico and our ancient past, that gets us into our next topic for tonight. Cody dropped a video this morning. Do you want to give a little intro about it? And we're going to make an announcement, a first-time announcement. Is this a first-time public announcement?
I think I've only ever alluded to it, or if I did announce it officially, it would have been on your episode that I did with you guys.
I don't think you did, man.
I think I've only ever alluded to it.
Yeah.
And I've definitely never given it a date.
Okay, well, I know behind the scenes there's a date now, and so and there's a team, and I'm on it, and so we're gonna make this announcement now. But give us a little background about the video I'm about to share, just quickly. And should we play the whole thing?
It's not terribly long. If you want to, by all means. It's
Let's do it.
over the last year, there has been some incredible news coming out of Mesoamerica. For whatever reason, I am intensely drawn to the Maya culture. They are so fascinating. I think they're the most pure reflection of nature's extreme chaos and beauty and everything in between. Uh, they were a very, very complex and fascinating people. So anytime stories come out about new discoveries, I'm always eager to jump on it. And this is just more or less a compilation of stories from over the last year. I had done entirely different shorts on these stories as they were fresh. I try and get on them within the first couple of days of when the news breaks. Um, but they've kind of gone under the radar. I don't see a lot of discussion about these discoveries. And in, in my mind, at least, I think they're pretty freaking rad. So I compiled them all in long form because shorts aren't for everybody. So I thought maybe it could appeal to an entirely different market of eyes.
Dave, you're muted.
Sorry, thank you, Brittany. So I'm glad we're doing this because if you haven't seen Cody's show and his channel, he's got a really cool like aesthetic and thing that he does, and I really dig it. And so I hope you guys do as well. So we're gonna watch about a 8-minute video that Cody dropped this morning, and then make our big reveal. So hang in there. Let's see.
Adventure, intrigue, lost cities, ancient mysteries, and more on this week's episode of East 10 Investigates. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the East 10 Outpost. I'm Cody, and I'm going to be your guide today into an exhilarating journey that'll take us through the jungles and ruins of Mesoamerica, where the ancient Maya continue to surprise us with secrets that are rewriting history. From lost cities hidden in dense foliage to royal tombs brimming with artifacts and shadowy ritual sites dripping with mystery, these finds are like T-shaped windows into advanced urban planning, sophisticated rituals, and unyielding resistance that span a millennia. So buckle up as we dive into recently revealed secrets of the Maya. For years now, we've imagined the early Maya as simple farmers, doing what they can to survive out in the jungle. But a new discovery out of Guatemala's Petén region in 2025 changes everything we thought we knew about their early days and brings those notions crashing down like a crumbling pyramid. A joint Guatemalan and Slovakian team unearthed the 3,000-year-old city complex of Los Abuelos near the Washat tomb site, named for its eerie sculptures of an ancestral couple carved between 500 and 300 BC. Spanning 16 square kilometers, this site features a 33-meter-high pyramid adorned with pre-classic murals, a sophisticated canal system, and clear signs of urban planning dating back to 800 to 500 BC, positioning it as one of the Maya's oldest ceremonial centers. Described by the culture of ministry as part of an urban triangle with nearby Petinal and Cambriol, it hints at an organized power structure dating back far earlier than expected. Makes you wonder what other hidden truths and secrets about their engineering are lying out there, tangled in the vines, just waiting to be discovered. And now switching gears to a bit of a darker discovery. In 2025 near Dos Piles, archaeologists uncovered what they're referring to as Cueva de Sangre, or the Blood Cave. And it reveals a much darker side to the Mayans' ritualistic tendencies than most occultists and historians would usually like to portray. So let's take a look at this story. First noted with human bones back in the 1990s, it wasn't until bioarchaeologist Michelle Bluise from California State University, Los Angeles, presented her team's findings at the Society for American Archaeology meeting on April 24, 2025, that the full horror of this site emerged. over 100 bone fragments from adults and children, marked by hatchet cuts and dismemberment signs dating back to 400 BC to 250 AD. Stacked like trophies alongside obsidian blades and red ochre, these weren't ordinary burials, but instead were sacrifices to the rain god Cha'ak in a cave seen as a portal to the underworld, accessible only during dry season with its narrow, symbolic entrance. The Cuava de Sangre makes us rethink how we view the Maya and their sacrificial practices. It's been long reported by people like Manly P. Hall and other notable Mayanists that the Maya were a mostly ritualistic and symbolic people, and they weren't really performing the type of bloody and violent sacrifices we see common with, say, the Aztec. But this find definitely paints a more crimson picture of what they were actually up to. And then there was a recent discovery in the jungles of Belize that's been lighting up the archaeological world. The tomb of a Mayan king was discovered at Caracol. In fact, it was the first king of Caracol, Tika Ab Cha'ak, otherwise known as the Tree Branch Rain God. Located in the northeast Acropolis alongside two other significant tombs, the chamber yielded pottery vessels, carved bones, seashells, tubular jade beads, and a stunning jade mosaic death mask, all solidifying local Maya control before Teotihuacan influences arrived. His remains paint a vivid picture. He was about 5 foot 7 inches tall, toothless, and of an advanced age at the time of death, with a dynasty that endured for 460 years beyond it. Finds like these are really exciting and encouraging because it shows that not everything has been lost. There's still plenty of untouched tombs left to be found that are just chock full of information for us to learn from. Dickheads like Diego de Landa and common grave robbers have done their best to eradicate the Mayan people for various reasons, but these sorts of finds, well, they help us unlock the mystery one key at a time. And now we move on to a tale of fierce defiance and the rediscovery of Sac Balan, a Maya stronghold hidden deep in the Mexican Chiapas Biosphere Reserve. Founded by the Lacandan Chol Maya after their capital, Lacantun, fell in 1586, they resisted colonial forces for nearly 110 years, until Friar Pedro de la Concepcion's 1695 expedition led to its conquest and renaming, and it was later abandoned by 1721. After grueling field seasons, the site's mapping unveils the resilience of these last rebels in the jungle's heart, and what clever strategies and cultural wisdom kept them fighting. These revelations add new and exciting layers to the overall Maya intrigue, and it really makes me wonder what other hidden holdouts might still be in the jungles waiting to be found. Tying all of these incredible revelations together is a new 2025 study that completely revises Maya population estimates, and these new numbers are stunning. The findings show that between 7 to 11 million Maya flourished in the northern lowlands during the Classic period, from 250 to 900 CE. Led by Tulane University's Marcelo Canuto and published in the Journal of Archaeological Science, reports the research used LiDAR to scan over 400 square kilometers, uncovering dense settlements supported by innovative farms, roads, and water systems that rivaled modern urban densities in some spots. This challenges the sparse jungle society myth, highlighting sophisticated agriculture and organization that sustained vast communities without early collapse. I'm of the opinion that finds like these can help us understand long-term sustainability secrets that we can use here in the modern day. The Maya supported populations of millions out in the jungle, so I would think that in today's day and age, we could learn from these secrets and tips of the Maya and replicate it to the 100th degree and in things like hunger, but what do I know? And now to wrap this up, I do want to mention that all of these finds are relatively hot off the press, which means they are the subject of academic discourse currently. It's being debated what each find meant, where it belongs in the timeline, how it fits symbolically, things of that nature. So all of them are sort of in a state of flux. And a lot of the pictures that I used are filler pictures, older ones from different Mayan sites. And the articles themselves do this because there's an unfortunate problem we need to discuss. Archaeology, for whatever reason, seems not terribly keen on releasing photos and videos when new discoveries are made. I don't know why this is. I would think you would want the general public to be as encouraged and interested as they are, but for whatever reason, they release very few pictures and videos when a new discovery is actually made. And as a result, articles end up using filler pictures, and people like me sourcing from those articles are forced to use filler pictures because real ones aren't publicly available. I don't know why that is. It's something I would love to find out. But I would love to know what you think about all of these discoveries. Are they as incredible as I think they are? Or do you think they're pretty much nothing burgers and the Maya civilization is pretty well figured out already? I would love to know your thoughts down in the comments below. Make sure you like the video and subscribe so you don't miss any adventures just like this one today. But most importantly, be indomitable in your quest for knowledge, no matter what gets in your way. But above all, stay curious, my friends.
Looks like you got a couple new subscribers out of that.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Honored to have you.
Yeah. And that's a very we got kids. Is that your kid?
Yeah, sorry.
You're good.
It's gonna happen. It's that time of night.
It's okay. No worries. Yeah, Cody's also father of 4, so he puts in all this work. He got a full-time job as well.
Yeah.
So
I stay busy.
So
I was going to say it's been some fascinating revelations over the last year, and I've loved to see it.
Yeah, and that is interesting that they don't want to release pictures. I'm trying to speculate like why.
I have no idea, and it infuriates me because when the stories are released, I'm following all the journals that are in Live Science, every credible place out there that's diligent about getting these finds and these papers published. There's usually just a couple of pictures, if any at all, and that can be very frustrating when trying to present it, especially in a visual format. So I would say every real picture that was available I use, and then there's probably half that are from different sites, from different discoveries, and you'll see the articles themselves do that, and they annotate it down below, because for whatever reason archaeology is very stingy about showing off what's in there.
Yeah, and that kind of bugs me a little bit, but maybe they're just like taking their time to synthesize the data or whatever, and like, or then you could get into your conspiratorial mode and think, like they're covering something up, which some people might think, and maybe it's a combination of both.
So, I mean, the antiquities market is thriving somehow, is all I have to say about that.
Huh. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I'm thinking about Michael Collins's idea of heritage tourism as well. Like, if they don't have if there's no tourism infrastructure set up around a site, and you can just go to Mexico and go check out one that no one ever goes to yourself, then no one makes any money, right? Yeah. And that kind of brings us to what we're going to talk about next, which is the big reveal. Cody, where are we going at the end of February?
So we will be heading out to the Yucatan to check out an undocumented site. All the indications point to it being a very interesting spot to check out. It's sitting right on top of a U.S. government scanned magnetic anomaly. There's entire maps that are available from the government that are just scanning for geomagnetic anomalies. and a
Mhm.
lot of sites around Mexico happen to be sitting right on them. So I kind of used that along with a variety of other methods to track down this particular spot, and we've assembled a team and we're making plans, and we'll be heading out at the end of February. So getting to hopefully document some interesting magnetism in the Yucatan, some unseen ruins, and hopefully help give academia that sometimes moves at a snail's pace a decent head start.
Yeah, and that's super exciting to me because it is the day. We're in the age of citizen archaeology, right? You can do your own archaeology now, and because of things like Google Earth and whatnot, and if you have your own resources, you can go check something out. I was talking to our mutual friend, Aaron Hines of Megalithic Mystery, the Megalithic
Love
Mystery.
Aaron.
Yeah, me too. And he has a cool, check him out, guys. Aaron Hines Megalithic Mysteries, as well as his YouTube channel, Breaking Ancient News.
Subscribe to that. That's good stuff.
It is good stuff. But he spent a lot of time in Peru, and he knows of all these sites that just, I mean, it's not that nobody knows that they exist.
Right.
It's just that they're everywhere.
The wider world doesn't know.
Yeah. And the wider world doesn't know. And he leads tours where he just takes people to that, like, most tourism wise, nobody really cares about, but they're really fascinating sites. And to me, that's really exciting. And
it is.
I met Luke Caverns at Cosmic Summit briefly. Like he was with his friends, and like, I didn't want to be too intrusive, but Brittany wanted me to get a picture with him. And so I went up and I introduced myself, and he gave me like this like random soliloquy or something like of like advice that I didn't ask for, but I really took to heart. And what he said was, when you're in this space and you want to be in this space, do something different and keep doing it. Number one, find something different that no one else is doing it and keep doing it, and it'll catch on. And the other thing he said was, go to these places yourself. Find places that other people haven't been to and go to them yourself.
Yep.
And I was like, for those of people who have been following our show for a while, they know I got a bit of a bad back that's like I've been working on for a couple of years now. And that shortly after that, Cody told me about this spot. Maybe it was even before Cosmic Summit. I think it might have been before. But either way, those two concepts converged for me and like really gave me this like tangible goal of like, I want my back better so I can go do this thing that like I really want to do with Cody. And my back has been getting better with some of the moves I've been making. I've been learning Tai Chi and things like that. And I'm doing acupuncture, which I never really believed in before, but it's been helping me a lot. But the point is that's what you're saying in that video was go check some of this stuff out yourself, right? And you shared some pictures with me that I'm going to share right now that we can kind of watch.
They were in that video. So since you played the video, if there were certain ones that you wanted to highlight or whatever, because like that's the land of the white jaguar. That's one of the like 3 pictures that they've released from it. I think these sites, Luke gave me similar advice once. He said, be interesting, have something unique to say, and you'll have something good. And that I took to heart as well, because it that really is the key, right? Do something different. And I've tried a variety of different things over the last bit of me having my channel. That's what we do. We grow, we flex, we figure out our rhythm. If you watch my older stuff, it looks completely different, from my stuff now. But the vibe stayed the same, the elements the same, and my presentation's more or less the same. But we try and improve as we go on, and try and keep things interesting and unique. And I think that's the secret to good storytelling.
So, do you have any pictures or like anything like about the site that we're gonna go discover?
So I actually considered including it, but it would actually narrow it down way too far. And like the Skinwalker of the South Ranch guy, I'm gonna have to say they'll just have to wait and see our footage.
Awesome. So talk to me about like this expedition a little bit. We've got me, you, Aaron Hines is coming from that we just mentioned. Anyone else?
Jason Shaman down there in the comments. He was earlier, at least I know.
Mhm.
And then Luke has said he is interested in coming. So I am very hopeful he'll join us. He just spoke to me the other day about it. So hopefully Luke will be getting to impart some more soliloquies. I can't talk right now. Of knowledge on us while we're heading down to the Yucatan.
Very cool. My wife's waving at me, so I'm just saying hi. She just got home. My hardworking wife.
Thanks for letting us borrow him.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm excited about the team. I'm excited about the adventure. Mom, if you're listening, this is going to be like a level 1 adventure. We're going to build up, but this one's not going to be
Very
too
tame.
it's going to be very tame. It's actually close to the our place in the Yucatan. My wife and I's place in the Yucatan that my mom's been to. We're gonna get our feet wet with this one, but the plan is to build and go check out some more sites. And I can't think of a better guide than Aaron Hines to have on the team.
I'm so grateful, that he's down to come along, and hopefully it's the first of many, many adventures with Aaron. Because he's a phenomenal dude. So
he's going to be hard to keep up with. He's like talking about going diving and stuff. He's like, get your certification. I'm like, I'm not getting my certification. Maybe the next one.
Well, I know it's cheaper and it's easier to get down in Mexico. So that is, but I'm lightweight terrified of deep water. Like I think in a past life, like I drowned to death or something, because it scares the hell out of me. And I was like a championship swimmer when I was younger, but open water, different story. So I don't know about the scuba.
I'm not scared about water, like per se, or diving, but like he wants me to go to Yonaguni in Japan, and that's a very difficult dive. I don't think I can get the requisite skills required to do that. But anyway, either way, Aaron is a legit adventurer.
He's
and
badass.
So he's going to be fun to take on the trip. And so we're going to be like macheting our way through some jungle a little bit, or what?
Well, I mean, I did get this bill hook just recently to like practice and I guess like get in the motion and the muscle training of it. But no, honestly, there is a path. It's a local seemingly path out to it. So I don't expect we're going to have to do too much unless we want to do a little bit of respectful clearing of brush. Because I want to be able to take measurements. I want to be able to take good field notes. I would like, hopefully some of that data to be valuable and usable. And it's going to be pretty tame. I was able to sell my wife on it, and her think I'll be able to still come home and provide for the family. So
well, you're bringing a medic with you, so
that helped. I'm not gonna lie. that helped.
I helped you get permission.
Yeah. Well, it softened the blow for sure. I was like, and there's a medic. He's like, I don't mean like a training course, like a real army medic, babe. And she was like, all right, well, I do like that.
Nice.
So thanks, Dave.
You're welcome. I just wanted to shout out Seeds of Light and Love. They've been watching a lot of our videos lately and commenting and stuff like that, and I just really appreciate that. They say, have you ever tried free dive training? I heard they pack air into their lungs to grow their breath capacity. No, I have not tried it. That would be something I'd be more interested in doing. We should go to some cenotes while we're there and do a little cave diving. It's not that scary.
Yeah, no, so the cenotes I really would like to check out.
Mm-hmm.
There's some fascinating things at the bottom of them.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's probably a lot of unknown cave entrances at the bottom of them. So I would be very interested because there's when you get good at satellite image examination, I actually have hundreds of spots marked between the Yucatan and deep into the Amazon
Mm.
that are undoubtedly something worth checking out.
Hmm.
And even near the spot that we'll be going to, if we're able to check it out quick enough, there's spots within 50 miles that I have marked that are what I'm certain are unknown ruins as well. So there's patterns, there's ways to, like you said, regular citizens now are being able to. And actually, one of these finds that I highlighted, I do believe came about from a grad student just Google Earthing. And he was like, hey,
That's
whoa,
awesome.
we should scan right here. And they LiDAR'd, and sure enough. So, yeah, it's a cool time to get out and start doing this. And I'm grateful to have you.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate you inviting me. Chris Cottrell says he loves scuba diving. If you can give us any advice,
Please, Chris.
we'd appreciate it. But yeah, I'm excited about that, man. It's going to be cool. We will keep you guys updated on the adventure as Mike takes some time off for school. Cody's going to be back on, so a couple more times, so we'll keep you updated on that. And it's exciting. So
it's going to be a very good time. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it feels like a real expedition.
Yeah, it'll be the first of many. So,
well, Cody has some
excited.
serious plans going. He texted me like a 5-page text of plans, and I was like, "Holy shit!" So we were gonna drive, but then I convinced him to fly. I think
you were right. Yeah, no, it's way better.
Yeah,
it changed time parameters, but it's going to be way better to fly out there, and we'll be able to maximize our time way better. So.
Yeah, for sure. And also you drive all the way down to the Yucatan. You're gonna be like wasted afterwards. You're gonna be like
it is
tired
exhausting.
and need to shake
I
it
drive
off.
all the time. Like I have to drive an hour and a half to work every day. So for me, like, man, drives ain't nothing.
Yeah, but it's to fly to Cancun, and I believe that Tulum has an airport now too. It's like 3 hours.
Yeah, well, we're gonna be flying into Meridian
Okay.
and launching from there, and it's there's a lot that we can hit from there. So the adventure may maybe even be more expansive than we're discussing right now. So I am gonna include some of those other coordinates for us, and if we get the chance, we're gonna check it all out and document it for everybody to see.
Good night, Mom. Yeah, so we got one last thing to cover. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on it because we've been going almost 2 hours already. But I was introduced to this site by our new friend, Brittany, help me out. The guy with the brush. I'm brain farting. Oh, Stephen Burns. Yeah, geophysicist Stephen Burns. He's got like a gajillion followers on YouTube. He's got a really great channel.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, we did an interview with him that dropped a couple weeks ago, and it's like our highest viewed interview by far because he's got such a big following. But we weren't talking to him about archaeology or anything. He was talking to us about geophysics and magnetic pole shifts and stuff like that. And he happened to mention that one of his favorite sites that he'd been to was this place called Varna in Bulgaria that he's like, it's not really on many people's radar. People know it's there, but like, most people in this space haven't heard of it. And I was like, I haven't heard of it. Have you heard of it? And I was asking around. And then, so I got a new computer. And so I've been making PowerPoints like crazy. That's why I had that PowerPoint that I presented about 3i Atlas. But then I told you about Varna and you hadn't heard of it either, had you?
No, I hadn't. And honestly, I was blown away that I haven't heard about it because it's
significant.
it's significant. It's astounding. And I would definitely think it would be like the kind of thing, more people would be talking about. So I'm glad that you want to talk about it and made a slide about it, because it's, yeah, I was blown away.
Yeah, so we're going to go through my slideshow, but we're not going to take too long on every slide or anything. And I just want to do like a comparison of this site to some because the question here on the slide is, I'm going to go to presentation mode. Actually, I need to share screen first, don't I? Share screen. This place is called Varna in Bulgaria. I'm going to go to presentation mode. It's got the oldest known gold artifacts to humanity. And I put the word known there because there's a lot of stuff buried under the ground, under our feet. And there's so much to find, like we've already talked about. But this place is called the Varna Necropolis. It contains the oldest known gold. We've got a Russell Brand looking guy on the right, who's basically the guy in the museum. This was discovered in Bulgaria. It dates back to 4500 BC, which is the most advanced gold artifacts in the world. Like it has its purity and the advanced metalwork is better than any other contemporary site. Egypt, Mesopotamia, everywhere. This site was further ahead in working with gold, which is wild, right?
Significant, yeah, very.
Yeah, and so I just want to show really quickly where Varna is. There's Bulgaria on the left, south of Romania. We got the Black Sea, you got the Aegis Sea and the Mediterranean to the south. On the right, you can see they've got lots of they've got access to the ocean, rivers, all kinds of stuff. So one of the cool things about the Varna culture, and we'll get to in a second, is that they had an extensive trade network, and that was able to be proved archaeologically. So it's one of those things where I'm not going to spend a lot of time here, but in 1972 they were doing some construction, and they accidentally found this site. And Cody, is that a rare story? Do they accidentally find ancient sites doing construction?
Yeah, literally all the time. A farmer found Göbekli Tepe just sitting on his hill. He was like, "What? What is this?" and dug a little bit. It's but a site of such significance to just be lost completely to the annals of time, I think, is very uncommon.
It's basically in the middle of the city. I mean, which is wild. It's
right.
4 kilometers from the city center, and it lies beneath an urban industrial landscape. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And they excavated it between 1972 and 1991, and then they built a museum, and they stopped excavating, and they left it about 70% excavated. Which
more than Göbekli Tepe, at least.
More than Göbekli Tepe, at least, but there's still answers to be had here, right?
Yeah, 30% of them, at least.
But this is what's known as the Chalcolithic or the Copper Age. So there wasn't supposed to be working too much with gold at the time.
Well, I thought it was very interesting because the Mesopotamians and the Egyptians were certainly plenty fond of gold. I find it significant that these people had metallurgy well in advance of Mesopotamians or Egyptians.
About 2,000 years more advanced or ahead of them, really. And we'll get to that. But the significance of this slide is
years.
Yes, it is. Yeah, I mean, shoot. Yeah, that's like
time of Jesus ago.
Yeah, exactly. But they had evidence of long distance trade, including Mediterranean shells and salt export. So that's how they found out that they have this extensive trade network. This is just a look at what we were just talking about. Well, first of all, this is other contemporary sites in the Chalcolithic era. 4600 BC, the emergence of the Varna culture. Radiocarbon dating at graves at confirms the site's age. The end of the Varna necropolis use, according to radiocarbon dating, was about 4200 BC, after which it was abandoned or evolved. And you see that a lot in archaeology, people, right?
Evolved, not quite.
Right.
Evolved, seemingly.
Yeah. And so this is some of the shit they found. More than 3,000 gold items were found, weighing over 6 kilograms. It's gold purity from 23.5 to 24 carats, which I'm not super into metal and stuff, but apparently that's very pure.
That's some good stuff.
Yeah. So the mummified Russell Brand had a gold penis sheath. You can see it there on the top picture. It literally gave him a penis sheath made of gold.
I thought that was a pretty fancy detail, by the way.
I mean, it sounds like something Russell Brand would actually do. So.
Yeah, it was. This is becoming more on point. You're right.
Yep. But I mean, this is what the dude was buried with. Look at that. He must have been super important.
A ridiculous amount of gold. Like I forget the exact metric I read, but the amount of gold that was found just in his tomb alone surpasses like the gold from Tut's tomb. Like it named multiple different famous discoveries. More than all of theirs combined was found in his tomb. I mean, he was like the real gold member.
He had to have been the man, right?
Yeah, no, for sure.
What's interesting is that the site shows clear social hierarchy. So there was like people buried with animals. There was just levels of burials.
A lot of stratification seems in the society, which is very interesting because that's also allegedly, according to the human civilization timeline, that's very far in advance of when we see social stratification start to happen.
For sure. I mean, we're talking well over 6,000 years ago. So Chalcolithic period is the Copper Age, transitional phase between Neolithic and Bronze. These are some contemporary sites that like around the same time as Varna. And just did a quick comparison, but this site 3200 to 2200 BC, Los Malares in Spain, they weren't using gold. Copper tools, beaker pottery, they had cultural exchange, but they weren't using gold like that. 7500 to 5700 BC, Turkey, very close to where this was geographically, copper tools, polychrome wall paintings, and mud brick houses. So they weren't anywhere near messing around with gold. Copper Age Syria, Tel Hamukar, 5000 BC. They had a large hectare site in northeastern Syria, among the biggest of its time, which challenges the views of urbanism originating in Mesopotamia, which, again, here we go, like other sites challenging the mainstream narrative, right?
Yep.
But they were working with obsidian tools and weapons. But they had trade spondylus shells and salt with the Varna site. And you see it's around the same time, 5,000 to 3,500 BC. There's evidence of trade between these two cultures.
In their jewelry as well, there was they have mineral jewelry that comes from all over the place, showing really expansive trade networks.
Yeah, and we'll get to that. And I'm glad you mentioned that.
I jumped the gun.
No, I want say whatever you want. Like that's part of it, right? Is not only were they had advanced metallurgy, they had advanced trade networks, and they were able to cover a lot of ground. This is just showing the craftsmanship levels, comparatively speaking, to the contemporary sites. And as you can see, like the Varna culture was way ahead of its time. So yeah, you didn't jump the gun. Evidence of Varna culture trade, salt. So archaeologists find and reveal Varna culture settlements possessing salt artifacts linked to Can't Say That, indicating a trade network supplying salt inland and abroad. Spondylus salt shells sourced from the Mediterranean were found in Varna graves and settlements, symbolizing luxury and social status. And it confirms long-distance trade routes. I mean, look at this, Cody. Like these guys were way up here on
Pretty freaking impressive.
Yeah, on the east coast of the Black Sea, and they're trading with cultures all around the Mediterranean, as well as cultures far inland into the Middle East, or into Europe. I mean, so
a lot of trade networking happening there, and I just even in the smallest details of things that they found in some of those tombs. From stylistic influence to actual materials to techniques. The vernaculture was way ahead of its time, to say the least.
Agreed. And that's why I found it so interesting. That's why I was like reading about it and grokking about it and making a PowerPoint.
I'm glad you told me. Yeah, it's fascinating.
Yeah, and these shells are pretty cool, actually. These are AI looking ones, but the shells are beautiful. And so this is just a timeline comparing to Mesopotamia and ancient Egypt. So they were doing this with gold and advanced trade networking before early Mesopotamia and the rise of urban centers like Uruk.
Yeah.
Well before the unification of Upper and Lower Egypt. Well before the development of cuneiform scripts in Sumer, and like 2,000 years before the construction of the step pyramid of Djoser. So I don't know why this site isn't like people don't talk about this more, you know?
Well, here we are.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to cop your info here and make a video on it.
I hope you do. And so this is where gold work arises in some of these other cultures: Sumerian, Old Kingdom Egypt, Mycenaeans, the Minoans, the Celtics. I'm just going to screen share a few more times, just some examples of what those other cultures were doing. This is Mycenaean gold in ancient Greece. Okay, and this is pretty cool stuff. But that was how much further ago, like several thousand years before or after the Varna culture.
Yeah.
Here's some Celtic gold. I thought this was pretty cool.
That is good stuff. Yeah, they were beautiful artisans.
Yeah, but it was like 100 BC we're talking about here.
Yeah.
Which is still amazing. You know, it's still amazing.
But clearly an art lost from the Varna culture.
Yeah, definitely.
For a long time.
Definitely. This is an interesting place.
My mic was kind of muted. Sorry.
You're good. We heard you. This is the Tumaku Talita culture. This is a gold figurine from the I went there before, area of Colombia. And trying to remember how old this is. I thought it would say, oh yeah, made 1 to 300 AD. I mean, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I'm just comparing like the artwork and whatnot. There was a culture called the Mochi culture from Mesoamerica that I'd never heard of before. South America, Peru. Okay. This is a gold artifact from them, 400 BC. Getting there. Before the Inca, the Tiwanaku people were messing around with gold. Here's some artifacts from their culture. And this is pre-Inca stuff. Okay. This is also pre-Inca stuff. The Chimu people were known to directly influence the Incas' gold practices. Keep on going through. This is more Chimu. This is really neat. This is a gold and silver vessel.
It's amazing. Yeah, that is a cool one.
Yeah, the artwork is beautiful. Like, I don't know how they combined the gold and silver, but I just thought it was super interesting. Almost getting through these guys. Here's the Incas. The Incas really mastered gold artwork. And so here's some examples of them. This one is, this is where we get into Egypt. This is Tutankhamun. He was literally called him the Golden King.
Yeah.
And that's his mask there.
Gilded King, right? Or is
Yeah, he's got
the Golden Pharaoh? Yeah,
the
that's
Golden Pharaoh. That's it. So this is also Egyptian stuff. I'm just going to scroll through. This is from the Met Museum. And this is all Egyptian. But it's comparable to this site that's 2,000 years older, which is wild to me.
pretty advanced technology, ancient advanced technology, if you ask me.
I think so. And so I just want to go back down.
That is an amazing site.
Yeah, I just want to go back and take a look at this. It's the same. I mean, it's if better in some cases, or if not on the same level as, all these other cultures that we all know about.
It's incredible craftsmanship, no doubt.
Well, the necklaces on the left are like very fine. It's hard to see them. Maybe I can zoom in. No, I can't. If it wasn't a slideshow, I could zoom in. But I'm just really glad that Stephen Burns told me about this site.
Yeah, me too.
One interesting thing about it is that women were often buried in the fetal position. And I mean, you could interpret that in a bunch of different ways. I think people might immediately assume that, they did that because women were lower on the social hierarchy. But I don't know that I wouldn't quite say that that's true. You could interpret that. It depends on what eyes you're looking through, right?
It's a really natural way to give birth, by the way.
Yes, exactly. So maybe it was about that. But according to the site and the archaeologists that were there, blacksmiths and chieftains had the highest status. So yeah, seeds of light in love. So
and there was some sort of goddess that figurine that was found very commonly as well.
Yeah, did I have a picture of that? I was reading about that.
I think one of those, was a picture of it, but the goddess figurine was found all over. So, and there was a lot of ceremonial graves, and they believe some were for goddesses. So the women did seem to have a pretty high place of prominence in the culture, just not as materialistically as the men, it seems.
Yeah, yeah. And so it just, yes, the men had a materialistic thing going on, and the women maybe a spiritual reverence, right?
Right. That's kind of how I saw it as well. The power, the ordainments were tied directly to masculinity.
Yes.
And seemed to be a status not of stratification so much as masculinity, because the women were adorned more in like shells and different types of adornments, but I wouldn't say any less grand. Just we consider them in modern guise, less significant materials.
Where the man had a penis sheath and a gold scepter, gold penis sheath, that kind of thing. And so, yeah, that's a good interpretation of that.
The one gal had a golden spindle.
Mm.
So like she clearly was, holding her effeminate job duty, but it was cast in gold. So like, even some of the grave goods in the women were still adorned in gold and showed their position.
Yeah, and so that's really interesting too. Everything about the site's interesting, and it makes me wonder, like, what the hell is under the streets of the cities in Bulgaria?
Everywhere, man. Everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. I can't help but wonder if we've got some heritage tourism going on here, and that's why they stopped excavating at 70%. But I really think that concept of heritage tourism really took off more in the last 20 years than anything else. But I definitely think that they moved most of these items to a museum, made it easy for everyone to access, that kind of thing. So I don't know.
And I too, when there isn't much of a site like this is a grave. Most of the bones were gone. They were only able to genetically test 5 samples because the soil's so acidic.
Mhm.
These things do belong on display for people to be able to see and learn from.
Yeah.
And I mean, this site, as far as I'm concerned, literally rewrites the history books I was reading in school.
It does for everyone, and maybe that's why it doesn't get a lot of attention. I don't know, but they're definitely not hiding it.
It's been out since the 70s.
Yeah,
Wild.
yeah, it is wild. And so I did a presentation on this on the Universe Unveiled Crew podcast that's coming out in a couple weeks, I think. But I'm a kind of obsessed with it because I want to know what the hell like I don't want to like go destroy like cities and stuff, but if there's like some empty parking lots in Bulgaria, can we dig them up, like some abandoned parking lots and stuff?
Man, that whole area, it was a happening place 10,000 to 5,000 years ago. The whole Black Sea area, it has a lot of secrets to tell.
Yeah. And I think that's, a good place to start wrapping it up is that there's everywhere in the world has a lot of secrets to tell. Even Egypt, where they claim that everything is already figured out, has a story to tell, right? There's still more stuff to figure out.
Mr. Hawass would have us believe that.
Some little outro music here. Mike usually does that. But I really appreciate you coming on the show tonight, Cody.
I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having me on and letting me conversate with you and with your audience. I've enjoyed it tremendously.
Below is friends of the show and friends of the channel, including Cody's. Where can everyone find you, Cody?
At East10, that is the numbers 10, East10Outpost. Everywhere. At East10Outpost.
Nice. And what can we expect? Like we're gonna get a Varna video in Cody style coming up, or what's coming up next?
Yeah, I've got. I recently bought Will Brown's book, so I'm gonna discuss that. I'm gonna talk about Varna, and then I'm sure I'll find some more semi-controversial topics to shake out and talk about as well, because I like to do that from time to time, get people talking.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things that you do, especially your brave work on NAGPRA. NAGPRA's a touchy subject, and I respect people's, opinions and high levels of emotion to the subject. But it's a conversation that needs to happen, and that Cody does a good job of balancing out the discussion. And so he had Dr. Elizabeth Weiss on, giving the anti-NAGPRA spiel. He plans on
very firm. Yeah, wow.
Yep. But you're also planning on having someone on to give a pro-NAGPRA, Native American Grave Repatriation Act story, and that side of it. And that's what's important, is we have to be able to talk to each other and find common ground. And if you find yourself over emotional about this kind of stuff, you might want to check your biases a little bit, because there's no gray area. There's gray area in everything. It's
very complex, and that's the thing. Conversation, not upset, shouting or being petty. Conversation needs to happen about it, because it's complex, as most things in life are. So, I like to kind of dip my toe into some of those topics, a range of different things, and there's always good stuff shaking down the pipeline. And of course, we're going to have some very exciting exploration content. So stay tuned for that.
Looking forward to it. Shout out to Chris Cottrell. Looks like he hung out for the whole show.
You're the man.
He said Georgia and Tennessee has stuff to find too, and he's right. He's right. There's mounds and Carolina Bays right in our backyard, right? Right, Chris?
I'd love for you to show us some, Chris.
Yeah, take us on a Carolina Bay adventure. Shout out to Scarlett, Seeds of Light and Love, Rubate, always here for a good time. I'm just scrolling up here. Jim Fry, my mom, Ancient Vacuum. We had Max from Ancient Vacuum on last week, and he was in the chat. Shout out to Max. Who else we got? I don't know if you're even still here, but I just love you all. Jokey. Jokey's a fun guy. You should actually reach out to him. He's got some interesting ideas. He's on X. Tammy supporting the crew. You can support the Multiverse. Brittany's dropping everything in the chat. But we got a merch store. Soon YouTube's going to let us put our merch store on YouTube. I literally within like 3 days. So I'm looking forward to that. Yep. You can join the Multiverse by liking and subscribing and sharing our stuff. You can blast off at Galaxy Treats with some hemp products and support the Multiverse. Links in the chat and in the description. Also, via hemp, get 20% off and support the Multiverse. And don't forget to check out Jason Quitt's Book of the Month, Astral Experiences. Highly recommend. I read the whole thing in like 3 days. It's absolutely fascinating, and Jason's an absolutely wonderful human and soul on this planet. I just love the guy. So support the channel by buying his book. And yeah, thanks for joining the Multiverse again, Cody.
See you next time.
All right.